Can the People's Convoy chalk up another win on the 10 bills in California that they are opposed to? Hello and welcome to Sweet Home California. My name is Jennifer, and I am talking about SB Bill 1464, which would withhold funds for local sheriff's departments if they do not enforce certain rules. And it was announced on April 6th that the author of the bill was withdrawing it from consideration. Now, I'm still talking about it here because I do think that this is a win for the People's Convoy because they were shining the light of day on this. This is part of the 10 bills that they were trying to bring to light to fight against. And they left D.C., where they had been for almost a month. They left D.C. to come all the way back to California, and they arrived in California on April 9th, and they attended a rally in Los Angeles yesterday where at least 1,000 people were there. I haven't had too much time to go into everything that happened at the rally yesterday because we had family in over the weekend, but I will talk about that later. But in regards to this particular bill, this is the second bill that I'm aware of that has been scrapped out of the 10. Um, but anyhow, I do think that we still need to talk about it because you turn your back on it and somebody else might pick it up and decide to go ahead and proceed. So I think it's really important that we go over it. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, and I will put a link in the description too so that you can look up these bills. It's on the legislature.ca.gov site, and you just put in the bill number that you are trying to look up, and you will find it there as Bill 1468. You can go to the status to jump to what's going on exactly. Lead author is Pan. And the history actions here, the last 5. So this was as of April 6th. That was, I think, Thursday, and I basically don't do too much with YouTube over the weekend to have family time. I hope you respect that. But it did say that April 6th set for a second hearing canceled at the request of the author. But let's go back to the text and see what was all of this about. Why do you think it was tabled? Did it have anything to do with the People's Convoy or not? I really would like to know your thoughts on it. I know there are people who don't believe so, but I've not been able to find any official reason given. I did do a search on Google saying, SB 1464 canceled, and there's no media covering the fact that it was canceled. So that tells me, I think, pretty much all I need to know. Anyhow, what they planned on doing, this was initially introduced February 18th, and they wanted to add Chapter 5.5, commencing with Section 16644 to Part 2 of Division 4, to amend some health and safety code relating to law enforcement. All right, so as amended, it says, existing law requires all sheriffs to execute all lawful orders of the department in their counties. Existing law authorizes each sheriff to enforce all orders of the State Department of Public Health or the local health officer issued for the purpose of preventing the spread of any contagious, infectious, or communicable disease. Existing law authorizes each peace officer of every political subdivision of the county to enforce within the area, subject to their jurisdiction, all orders of the State Department of Public Health or the local health officer issued for the purpose of preventing the spread of any contagious, infectious, or communicable disease. This bill would instead require those sheriffs and peace officers to enforce those orders. By expanding the duties of law, so rather than allowing, the word's going to be require. By expanding the duties of local law enforcement, this bill would create a state-mandated local program. The bill would additionally prohibit state funds from being provided to any law enforcement agency that publicly announces that they will oppose or adopts a policy to oppose a public health order. The bill would, if funds were withheld, require those funds to instead be reallocated to the county public health department of the county in which the law enforcement agency operates for public health purposes. So you're going to withhold funds from the sheriff, and now you're going to give it to the public health department. Are they going to arrest the bad guys? Are they going to, chase after the speeders? Are they going to investigate the murders? Anyhow, to continue on. The California Constitution requires the state to reimburse local agencies and school districts for certain costs mandated by the state. Statutory provisions establish procedures for making that reimbursement. This bill would provide that if the Commission on State Mandates determined that the bill contained costs mandated by the state, reimbursements shall be made pursuant to the provisions noted above. All right, so it says, people of the state of California do enact as follows. Again, this has been tabled as of right now, but this is what the bill would have read had it gone forward. Section 1, Chapter 5.5, commencing with Section 16644, added to Part 2 of Division 4, yada yada. Anyhow, it would issue a prohibition on the use of state funds, notwithstanding any other law. No state funds shall be provided to any law enforcement agency that publicly announces they will oppose or adopts a policy to oppose a public health order. If state funds are withheld from a law enforcement agency pursuant to the section, those funds shall instead be reallocated to the county public health department of the county in which the law enforcement agency operates for public health purposes. I know that's a repeat, but anyhow, you know my thoughts on that. Okay, the county health people are going to now be responsible for investigating homicides and speeding tickets and any other law enforcement duty if you have a sheriff that opposes those mandates. Section 2 of the Health and Safety Code is amended to read, and this is Section 101.029. The sheriff of each county or city and county shall enforce within the county or the city and county all the orders of the local health officer issued for the purposes of preventing the spread of any contagious, infectious, or communicable disease. So this is just the orders of the local health officer. So this is not even like a law done by the legislature. This is just like, okay, the health officer says this. Now the sheriff is responsible for enforcing it. Is the local health officer elected? Are they appointed? How does that work? If you know in the comments, please let me know. Anyhow, to continue, every peace officer of every political subdivision of the county or city and county shall enforce. So this is no longer just allowing, this is a requirement. Within the area subject to their jurisdiction, all orders of the local health officer issued for the purpose of preventing the spread of any contagious, infectious, or communicable disease. This section is not a limitation on the authority of peace officers or public officers to enforce orders of the local health officer. When deciding whether to request this assistance in enforcement of its orders, the local health officer may consider whether it would be necessary to advise the enforcement agency of any measures that should be taken to prevent infection of the enforcement officers. Section 3 of Section 120155 of the Health and Safety Code is amended to read, pursuant to Section 11158 of the Government Code, the sheriff of each county or city and county shall enforce within the county or the city and county all orders of the State Department of Public Health issued for the purpose of preventing the spread of any contagious, infectious, or communicable disease. So now not just the county level, but they're also going to have to follow all the orders of the State Department of Public Health as well. Every peace officer of every political subdivision of the county or city and county shall enforce within the area subject to their jurisdiction all orders of the State Department of Public Health issued for the purpose of preventing the spread of any contagious, infectious, or communicable disease. This section is not a limitation on the authority of police officers or public officers to enforce orders of the State Department of Public Health. When deciding whether to request this assistance in enforcement of its orders, the State Department of Public Health may consider whether it would be necessary to advise the enforcement agency of any measures that should be taken to prevent infection of enforcement officers. Section 4. If the Commission on State Mandates determines that this act contains costs mandated by the state, reimbursement to local agencies and school districts for those costs shall be made pursuant to Part 7, yada yada, of the Government Code. So, I am so happy that this has been tabled at the request of the author. My hope is that this will not be picked up by any other member of the legislature. And the way to make sure that that doesn't happen is to continue to voice your concern to your individual assemblymen and state senators to make sure that doesn't go forward. Now, there is something that sounds a bit similar that was being considered in New York that has also been tabled. You'll want to check out my interview with Nina from Southern Digest, and that was on my Rainbows and Silver Linings show that I have on This Way Network. It will also appear here on Sweet Home California next week. So what is today? Is the 11th. It's going to show the 12th. It'll be on this channel as of April 19th. But anyhow, make sure you check it out. And let me know what your thoughts are down below. Did this have anything to do with the People's Convoy? Or was it just because they saw the writing on the wall elsewhere? Did you know about this law before I just brought it to you? Because I didn't know about it until the People's Convoy talked about it. So, in any case, God bless. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this and be informed. God bless, and I will talk to you next time.